Hi everyone, there's some confusion about how to save the project and how to submit it. So I'm just going to go through here how you want to do that. I have a logic project open here, and if you look in the logic folder, you'll see there's my project there. Adopted the nom de plume Rasher's Tyranny for this module code, and 2 of 3. Inside that folder you find there's some other folders associated with the project and the actual logic project file itself, but what you want to submit is like Lisa told you, is the entire logic folder, not just this logic X file here. This is not enough. Also, I have the write-up here, which I have downloaded the assessment brief and report template. You should use the template and you should set it up the same way. So you see these are double spaced. Your writing should be double spaced. The footnotes, figure notes, if you're using them, you don't need all of these sections and subsections. You can delete as appropriate. And then when you format your bibliography, you can see at the very end it should be formatted this way, hanging indents. If you can make it, that'd be great. And also footnotes with page numbers. Don't forget the page numbers on your footnotes. So once you save that, what I would do is I would use the Logic project folder as your submission folder. Logic expects to see the files in there, but it doesn't mind if you put extra stuff in there, and I routinely do this. So I would stick my write-up, my commentary, in the same Logic project folder. So on your system, Logic always saves into the Logic folder, which is in music, and then under the name of the owner of the computer. So on this computer is Rich Duckworth, but of course on your lab computers it'll be UG Tech, I think it's the, or student, I think perhaps. Anyway, it's some profile there, but you find it easy enough. So let's just say I make a new project folder. I'll keep that open. I make a new project, then I'll go make empty project. And then I'll just stick one piece of software in it. And then I'm going to save this one. Now it's not saved. You can see it's not saved right now, but I do need to actually save it. It will go to automatically to the Logic folder, and then once you name it, it will create a new folder for that. So if I call this the Bald Mave, MUU11024 2 of 3, and I've saved it as a folder. See this here. I would ask you to also tick every one of these. It won't make any difference, except for a movie file. You don't need to save that one, but tick them all. It doesn't hurt. Then it will save anything you refer to in your project. It'll save it into that folder. So I hit save. Now let's just check back up here into our Logic folder, and you can see I've got a new folder called the Bald Mave, and then when you open that, it's got stuff in there. It's got that Logic X project file, and it's got a folder called audio files. Now that's not really going to be used for this project, but it will be used for 3 of 3, so that's why you really have to learn this process, and it's part of the assessment as well. Okay, so there's the Bald Mave, but we don't really care about that so much. We're using that as an example only. So we're back to this one, which is a MIDI project. Seems to be hanging there. Okay, so I've finished editing. I'm happy with what I've got. The next thing is I want to export this as that audio mixdown that we talked about. So just select the whole thing. I usually select an extra little bit on the end for reverb tail and stuff like that. It'll usually include it anyway, but it doesn't hurt to have an extra bar at the end. And then I go down to where it says stereo out. So that yellow bar there, that yellow, it will make it a loop actually, but it also is the export region for your mix down. So if you define that up in that top bar there, that will be your the amount of the timeline that it exports. So let's say, for example, you were to do this, then it will only export the first 5 bars. There are 4 bars, so that's no good. Obviously, you want more than that. You want the entire thing, and then a little bit too. So I usually go a little bit extra. And then I just go down here to the stereo out, where it says bounce. Alternately, I can go to the mix window and get it there. It's the only one that has a bounce on it. So if you go bounce, it'll then give you the option PCM, WAV, 16-bit, 44.1, and that's it. So I go then OK. It says give it a name. Now it ends up defaulting to the name of the project. You want to leave it that way because that's what the way we name and number things in Music Tech 1, Music Tech A, B rather. So just go bounce, and then it will bounce this entire timeline. And then in a second or two, we'll get to see what we've got. This is a complicated project, so it's taken a little while, but still a lot faster than it used to be a few years ago. So we're going to go back now in a second to the Logic folder. And when you look in here now, you see there's now a new folder in our project folder, which was called Rasher's Tyranny, in honor of the famous character from the book. And when you look in the bounces, you see you've got your mix down in there. You can leave that there. You don't have to drag it out and rename it or do anything to it. Just leave it in the bounces folder. I say this to many of you. Some of you listen to it, some of you don't. I know where the bounces folder is. I've been using Logic for 26 years. It's just much easier for everybody if you leave it in the bounces folder. So I've now got the let's get rid of this because I'm not going to use this. We've got our project folder, we've got our Logic project files, which are the audio files folder, the bounces folder, the Logic X, the project file itself, and then we've got the write up, and then in the bounces folder we've got the mix down. So you've actually got everything contained in that project folder. You don't need to make new folders, you don't need to drag stuff around. You've now finished your project. So all you have left to do is to zip it up. So I'm going to quit this out with a final save. All you need to do is zip this up. So to zip it, you either right click it, sorry, and then you get compress, Rasher's Tyranny, blah blah blah. Or if you don't have your mouse right click or trackpad right click set up, because it's not set up by default on Apple, you can actually hold down the control key and click it. You'll get the same menu, and then it goes compress Rasher's Tyranny. You compress it, it says compressing Rasher's Tyranny. And there it is. That's the same as that. Let's just take it off to a new place. So if I take this file off to a new place that is somewhere different on the hard disk, and I double click that, you'll see that it opens out and I get everything the way I wanted it before. It's got the Logic project file and its assets, the things that go with it. It's got the commentary, it's got everything encapsulated in one. So that's what we say when we want it zipped and sent to us. That's what we expect. That's what we want. If you do it this way, you won't run into any issues or trouble. And if you do it other ways, typically there ends up being problems. People tend to drag this out somewhere and try to compress. They try to compress this and zip that. They think that I want that file zipped. No, I don't. You don't need to go in here and zip, like compress or zip individual components. There's no need to do that. It's a waste of time. You're wasting your time. You're wasting everybody else's time. This is the thing. The big folder, the main folder, that's the one that you want to zip up and compress. So hopefully that's clear. If it's not, get in touch with us and we'll probably send you to our tech Nan, who's very good at explaining these kinds of things. Okay, thanks everyone, and hopefully that's a bit clearer.